Thus begins my Florida tea tour. Stick around until the end to find out my final score of my first Florida tea tour stop. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the yummy of afternoon tea, Fort Myers, Florida edition. For stop number 1 of my Florida tea tour, I went to Wisteria Tea Room and Cafe in Fort Myers. We reserved online in advance, and my mom and I enjoyed tea for 2 guests. We chose their Duchess tea, which came with 1 pot of tea for the table. There were several tea options to select from, but we couldn't agree on a flavor, so we were permitted to have 2 teapots to start. I chose chocolate almond cookie, and my mom chose Earl Grey lavender. Both were black teas. They came pre-steeped to our table, so there was no tea bags and steeping time to think about. The teas were steeped fairly strongly, I'd say. We both ended up preferring the almond cookie tea, but both teas we tried were good. We noticed that the table beside us had 4 guests, and they got to start with 2 teapots. You can order new flavors during your visit, so tea here is no issue. Let's get into the nitty-gritty now, starting with the good. The good aspect here was the food. On an overall basis, I'll give you the details. Their afternoon tea menu changes monthly, and this was their January offering. They also have a lunch menu here with several options if someone in your group doesn't care for afternoon tea. For us, each guest received a hummus and feta toast, a cucumber cream cheese open-faced sandwich, a cheesy puff pastry, and a roasted veggie quiche. All of these items tasted good to both of us. We liked the variety of having 2 pastries and 2 bread-based items. We always love to see a classic cucumber cream cheese sandwich served. I would note that each item had a decent cheesy element, which really worked well for us because we love cheese, but might not be everyone's favorite. For example, the puff pastry was to be a spinach, artichoke, and cheese, but we only tasted cheese. Again, that works for us, but it may not complement everybody's palate. Not a complaint, just an observation. Overall, we liked all 4 savories in terms of the variety and taste. For the scone tier, each guest received the scone of the day, which on this day was white chocolate and apricot. We each got 1 smaller scone, and we had a shared pot of whipped cream. There was no jam, no fruit curd, no butter, and no proper clotted cream served. However, having been to this tea room a few times in the past, including just last year, we knew that they didn't have clotted cream, so we stopped at World Market on our way here in the hopes of finding some. We lucked out by finding these shelf-stable jars of clotted cream here for $4.49 per mini jar. So if you're in the market for clotted cream, you can likely find it at World Market. We also found the refrigerated version at Whole Foods the day before, seen here. Anyway, this clotted cream was fine, except that we would have liked it to be slightly cooler because it was a bit too runny from being room temperature in the Florida sun. In terms of the scone at Wisteria, I liked the scone because it had sugar baked on top, and the white chocolate chips had caramelized a little bit, so it was really yummy for me. But honestly, it had more of a crumbly coffee cake consistency than a scone consistency. My mom would have preferred a more classic scone, served with jam and cream, as she enjoys a plain scone that can really carry the toppings of jam and cream. She's not wrong, but this is all about personal preference. I, of course, wanted 2 scones, or 1 that was larger. To me, the scone tier is what makes afternoon tea, so it's very important to me that it stands out as part of the experience. This one did not really stand out. For the top tier, the sweets, each guest received a cheesecake bite, a bundt cake, and a creme brulee. The cheesecake was supposed to be a turtles-flavored chocolate and pecan. To me, it was just cheesecake, so nothing special. The bundt cake was orange chocolate and had a nice consistency and flavor. The creme brulee was an espresso-flavored creme brulee. I don't mind a coffee flavor, but since I don't ever drink coffee, this wasn't my favorite flavor. The temperature and consistency of the creme brulee, though, was perfect. So overall, this food was good, as they were quality bites with good variety, with only minor misses on some of the bites. The bad, there wasn't really anything bad here. I would say the closest thing to a bad aspect was the scone tier. There are not any other afternoon teas that I have been to, and I have been to a lot, where only one accompaniment is served with the scones. Not even any jam is served here, which is quite a departure from the norm. Of course, if you're serving a thing called afternoon tea, proper clotted cream should always be served. As I mentioned, the scone texture here was more cake than it was scone, like in my experience. Still a tasty treat, just not the usual scone experience. Not necessarily bad though. For the ugly, nothing here was ugly. As you can see, it's a small space with lots of tables, but it's well appointed. And the yummy, the best bites for me were the savories, as they all tasted quite good. This afternoon tea cost $37 per person, which is about 53 Canadian dollars using today's conversion rate. This price, at least in the US dollars, is on par for this offering. Recalling that there were 4 savories, 1 scone, and 3 sweets, we often see servings a wee bit larger than this for a wee bit of a higher price, like around 40 US dollars or more. So this price matches the portion served. The service here was good and our server was friendly. Based on my experience on this day, my overall Queen of Afternoon Tea rating is 4.2 out of 5 stars. If you're in this area, this is a good option to visit. Have you been to Wisteria for afternoon tea? Would you go? Comment below and please follow and subscribe for the rest of this Florida tea tour.